Intro. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is James Walker. I'm here with my coworker,
Colleague.
colleague. This is Vanessa.
Hi, guys.
She's been in a couple of videos. You guys have probably seen them. So today, I know you probably saw the thumbnail talking about market crash. I'm not saying there's going to be a market crash. I'm just going to throw out me and Vanessa. You know, we've worked this area for quite a while, real estate wise, and we're just going to give you our opinions about what the market is going to have maybe in 2025. Give you some of our predictions. Excuse me, what we've seen so far, what we see maybe happening now with Trump in office. Now that turns into a political thing, and we won't be. So if you got something political to say, and we'll probably make you leave the room. But other than that, so let me throw something on the screen, and it's kind of whoops, that's not it. Computers will act right. On my screen, there we go. All right, so now Vanessa's gonna be mad when she sees this. So I pulled up the stat, Vanessa. What does it say? So if you could just read it for me.
Mine looks like it's a little cut off, but is it California experienced the greatest net loss of do-it-yourself movers and U-Haul equipment and ranks 50th for the 5th consecutive year?
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's just talking about how everyone's leaving California. And on the left-hand side, I don't know if you can see it, it might be too small for your screen, but Texas was ranked number 1 for the past few years for by U-Haul growth states. And basically what that means is inbound states that people are going to. Well, Texas got pushed down to number 2. Sorry, Vanessa. I know you're.
It's still number 1 in my book. That's all that matters.
Right. Because Florida's number 4. I lived in Tampa for quite a while. But so number 1 now is South Carolina. So South Carolina took it. Number 2 is Texas. Number 3 is North Carolina. Number 4, Florida. And if you guys can see on the screen, of course, we got 5, Tennessee, Arizona, 6, Washington. I'm assuming that's state for number 7, Indiana for, I'm sorry, 7, Washington for state for 8 for Indiana, 9, Utah, then 10, Idaho. And I throw that on the screen just because North Carolina's been in the top 5 by U-Haul for the past few years. And I think, now it's number 3, was number 5. And it just shows like a lot of people moving to North Carolina. Of course, me and Vanessa are in Fayetteville, North Carolina, next to Fort Liberty, Fort Bragg, one of the biggest military bases on the East Coast. So, and I just share that stat. I just want to show that to you guys real quick and show you that a lot of people are moving to North Carolina more and more every year. What's our median home price, do you think, Vanessa, roughly?
Right now, it's between 220 and 240. So, it's still beneath the national average.
Yeah. And, with that, I mean, what do you think we get with that? Probably like square footage and bedroom wise. What do you think? Usually.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Was not prepared for that one. 3-bedroom, 2-bath is typical. 1,500 to 1,700 square feet, I would say is pretty good.
Yeah.
You cannot. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say I agree with you, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can find the homes that'll give you more square footage or less, more bedrooms or less. But I think average, I think that's what I'm seeing now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're in a contract with 3 or 4 people that are ready this year. So, and of course, you cost better than I do, but I mean, they're looking between a 200,000-300,000 typically right now.
Yep, most of them are looking right in the median price range. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But all of them, I think, are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom right now. Yeah. And I want to say between 15 And I think Pamela's is like 2,000 square feet. So between 15 and 2,000. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, at all, and you guys have heard it before, location. So that definitely makes a difference. If you look for something right in the middle of the city, typically with any state, you're going to be looking at paying city and county taxes. You get a little farther out, like Vanessa lives in the boondocks, her and her husband with their kids. They got chickens and roosters and.
And we can be as loud as we want.
Yeah, they're loud party goers. They like to throw wild parties on the weekend. So you guys can go check them out. They like company. So.
Yes, come on over.
Yeah, so definitely, and not to get in her personal business by any means, but you're only paying county taxes. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So like I live in Hope Mills. Hope Mills is a little town, so I pay. Me and my wife, we pay. Obviously town taxes and county taxes. So not as low as Vanessa probably pays, but definitely a little lower than Fayetteville. So another thing I threw up on the screen here, this is for the whole state of North Carolina, and we'll definitely talk about Fayetteville in general here in a moment. Just wanted to kind of show you the numbers. I don't know if you see it on your screen or not, Vanessa.
I do.
Okay. So in 2020, just talking about so median price range for the whole state of North Carolina is $375,100. Over the past, this is 3 years. So over the past years, has gone up 4.0%. 11 just over 11,000 homes sold, and the year after year, it's went up 13.3%. And medium days on the market is about 55 for the whole state, and that's gone up 13 plus, 13, over the year. So it's definitely, like I was saying before, we can tell a change. Like we just did a market update just a few days ago, me and Vanessa, and locally, what was our days on market here locally? I forgot.
Locally, they're 30 to 45 days.
Yeah. So, and I think I went back to August, like 6 months, and it was like 31 to 32 days. So even during seasonality of holidays and all that stuff, it was only went up 2 days. So not too bad. I mean, typically during the season, most people see it's it just due to seasonality with the holidays and everything. Nothing is no one's looking at homes typically. They're doing the Christmas thing and holiday stuff. So even with that, not too bad. And how many homes did we have on market, active on market? It was like 2,000 or something. I don't know the exact amount, but
so I think in 2024. Well, are you talking about the January market update?
Yeah, the one we just did.
Oh my goodness!
I know you probably don't know the exact amount, but it was like what 2,000s, I think. I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember, but if I had to guess off the top of my head, and I can pull it up, I would say yes.
Okay. Well, you don't have to pull it up, but I think it was like just over 2,000 when we did our market update. So, and 6 months ago, I remember being around 1,200. And to be considered a balanced market for our area, typically we need about 4,000 to 5,000 active homes in our market. And our market includes, we've got Cumberland County, we've got Harnett County, and Hope County, and that's our typical market. So it's kind of the metro area of all our areas. So, with just over 2,000 active homes. And we've got, to be a balanced market, we need 4 to 5 active homes. So we're still in a seller's market, but we can definitely see, we're getting more and more inventory every day, which is a good thing. So it's going to go hopefully back to a balanced market here pretty soon, is what I'm hoping. And do some stats that Vanessa pulled up, for December 2024. And I won't read all this stuff off to you guys, of course, but just to show you our numbers year to date for December, key metrics, things like that. Median price, here's just 230 in 2023, 240 in 2024. Got up almost 4.3%, so just over $10,000 roughly. Average sale price, 245, 240 to 252. Let's see. Days on market.
Yeah, and I think for this is there's a difference between the average for new construction and for pre-existing sales, townhomes and Townhomes and condos.
Okay, yeah, I see that is okay. Yeah, where his townhomes. Okay, yeah, I just not noticed that. Thank you. Yeah,
You're
so
welcome.
definitely, yeah, we don't have a lot of townhomes and condos here. Um, Typically, we got more single family dwelling homes, so not a lot of that, but definitely a big difference there. If we look at closing dates, closing sales, oh, days on market, I'm sorry, it was 48 in 2023. Now it's up to 68 in 2024. It's all from the county, of course. So, in a year, that's still a seller's market, but that's not, we can definitely see, the market changing as we go here. Um,
Yeah, and that's also for new builds too. I think new builds, because of the price, our median tends to stay within 240 and 250 right now, or 220 and 240. And so new construction homes are, I think, at 377 medium price range right now. And so those, all the homes that are higher than our medium price range tend to stay on the market a little bit longer.
yeah, definitely. And here's another stat. This is the other one I showed was for Cumberland County. I know this is one for Fayetteville. And like I said, I'm not going to read them all off to you. I know you guys can read, but this to show you, just for Fayetteville, days on market 32 in 2023. Now it's up to 80, and that's a percentage change of 150. So, it's not saying we're going to have a market crash by any means. I'm not saying it at all. I don't. What do you think, Vanessa? Think we're having a market crash or?
I don't see it, at least in Fayetteville.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's just because we have like a constant revolving door of people coming in and out due to the military base. Um, but I mean, the three top sellers in North Carolina are first military relocations, then first time home buyers, and investors are the last one.
Okay.
So those are the three types of people purchasing here. I don't know. What do you think?
I would have to say no, not for our local area. I don't believe so. Not anytime soon. We're still short inventory. Like I said, we to be a balanced market, typically you need these 4,000 or 5,000 active homes. We got over 2,000, so we're still short 2,000, 3,000 active homes. I have seen a change in the market, though. I've had a few listings that have been on the market a little longer, going on 50, 60 days. Um, and I'm out showing homes to people, and I know you are also, and we can see how homes are a little longer on the market, 40, 50 days, 60 days, like I said. And I think it's great for buyers because now they've got that chance to, ask for closing costs, possibly reduction. We can negotiate. If you guys know, anything's negotiable with a real estate deal. Vanessa can tell you, we can. If the price is 200,000, doesn't mean you have to go into 200,000. I mean, it really depends on the market and stuff like that. But things, that things that can change. You can ask for closing costs. You can ask for, reduction in the price, due diligence money, earnest money. And if you don't know what that is, that could be another live stream in itself. But
Mhm.
give you a short version. Due diligence money is like a deposit that you get straight to the seller. And if you go under contract, and then once you go under contract, if you back out of the house, you lose that money, but you get it back as credit at closing. And with earnest money, it's the same thing, right, Vanessa?
Right.
So with earnest money, you get straight to the attorney. Then there's a due diligence period, and we can explain that more to you guys if you have questions about that. You can reach out to us. There's our
Yeah, it's funny
Vanessa.
that you.
Yeah, I know it's
Sorry.
bad. I'm not Vanessa. She's not James, but just switch them around. But
All the names I see.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you're mentioning closing costs because I know James loves to laugh about this deal, but I had a deal that we're still under contract for, or I have a deal, and they needed so much money or they wanted so much money in closing cost. So let's just say it was 10,000 in closing costs, and we were offering 200,000 on the home. They said no to the 10,000 in closing costs, but said yes to 5,000 in closing costs, and then 5,000 under asking. So let's say 195 instead of the 200. And James was like, that makes no sense. It's still the same amount of money that they're getting back. But they said yes to it. And at the end of the day, my buyer still got $10,000 back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you worked out a great deal. That was awesome. I can't believe the other agent didn't catch it. I really did, and they didn't catch. I mean, what's it's at closing it's going to wash itself all out. It's whether you ask for 5,000 off, or whether you ask for $5,000 in closing cost, it's all the same. It really more depends on and let me know what you think about this. I mean, it really depends on the buyer who you're helping. Do they need closing costs, or do they need more off the price of the house?
Yeah, and I think with that being said, a lot of times people are scared to purchase a home because they may have the credit, but they don't have the funds needed to go into, the purchase of a home, because you need due diligence deposit, you need inspection money, you need appraisal money, you need down payment. We have a lot of VA loans here, so we don't do the down payment a lot, but we can always negotiate things. And so I always say, just go for it, just try it, because you could get you can you hear my son?
What's that?
Can you hear the background noise?
A little bit.
Okay.
What's someone chickens and what that? What's going on?
No, it's yeah. But anyway, yeah, you can always negotiate closing cost, and so it's not that it ends up not being as scary or as big of a thing as you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Everything is negotiable.
Yeah, most definitely. And you as a buyer, if you're coming here or anywhere for that matter, not just Fayetteville, anywhere you want to move to, California, New York, wherever, you really depend, you as a buyer, what's more important to you. Lower mortgage rates, or not mortgage rates, but mortgage payments, where you're paying less every month, obviously for the next 30 years, if you own if you do get a 30-year mortgage, or do you need money for closing costs? Or maybe a little bit of both. Sometimes you can divide it up. Let's say you ask for 5,000 in closing. Instead of that, you're going to ask for 2,500 off the price of the house, and then maybe 2,500 in closing. It just really more depends. If you need money for closing, then you need closing costs. That's for sure. But like for example, well, my wife Stephanie, she's a realtor too, so she just listed a house last Monday and went under contract on Saturday, which is great. I mean, we went under contract in 6 days, and I won't give the address of that stuff, but the buyers came in at the asking price, which was 200,000, and they wanted a certain amount of closing cost, and basically almost all their closing costs possibly. And we thought the sellers were going to say no, and they said yes. They're like, yeah, we'll do it. Which really is kind of shocking. They asked our opinion, and we thought, well, you can come back and negotiate. And they're like, no, let's do it, which is great. I mean, helps out the buyer, and they're okay with paying that closing costs, and they're pretty happy. And as long as they're happy, it's a good deal for everybody. They're happy. So it's me, if I was the buying agent, I'd have been like, they're not going to accept this. And then they did. So I was like, oh, you just never know. So, I guess there's a lesson for me also. A lot of times I always tell people, if it's been on market for a couple hours, a couple days, or even a week or two, they might not be open for negotiations because it's pretty fresh still. But after about 3 weeks to a month, I think you can start, negotiating some things, or, but I wouldn't even not wait that long because, like I said, 6 days on market and they accepted the offer. So, whoever is your realtor, whether it be me or Vanessa, we're the best. Definitely don't be afraid to put in that offer because you just never know. The worst they could tell you, in my opinion, is no. Nothing gained, nothing lost there. And then, move on to the next one, or maybe put in an offer that they will like. You just never know. So definitely a good lesson for myself there too, because I would have been like, they're not taking that, and they did. I couldn't believe it. So
yeah. And like you said before, that's really with anything, like this other deal that I have. So it's a VA loan and it's a manufactured home, but the VA requires a structural letter from an engineer that says that home is stuck to the ground. Basically, it's attached somehow to the ground to where someone's not going to just pick it up and take off with it. Well, we were able to negotiate the structural letter into the deal. We were able to negotiate part of closing cost. We negotiated a structural engineer to go look at the subflooring. I mean, you really can negotiate just about anything as long as your offer, as long as it's reasonable. Obviously, you can't negotiate 100,000 off the purchase price or something ridiculous. But yes, everything is negotiable.
Yeah, most definitely. And this is a stat from Redfin. I don't know if you see on your screen real good, Vanessa, or not.
Yes.
And median price, like Vanessa said earlier, 224. Median price sale homes number of homes sold was 214 for last year. I'm sorry, for the past 3 years. Well, yeah, for last year. Median days on market 26. We said about what our stats showed was what we got our stats from the MLS. So I don't know, but I mean it wasn't off by much. We're talking. They said 26 days. We said that is over a year, and we said 31 to 32. So not bad. Home price went up 3% from last year. Days on market, days 19 days of last year. So pretty good stats. And we're definitely seeing more and more people move to the area. Like for instance, named Lewis on the screen now. I'm under contract with him right now. Him and his wife, and they're moving here next couple of weeks from Florida, and got him a nice house out in the Hope County area. And he's not even military, and usually we get military folks moving here, and they're can't believe they're tired of Miami, which is hard to believe. I don't know how you get tired of Miami, but I guess it can happen. So let me see.
We have beaches too,
Yeah, it's only 2 hours away, so no, you're close to the beach. Only 2 hours away. I was gonna go into the real estate. Me and Vanessa, we don't deal with rentals at all. Too many. We can't refer to apartments or to that. But one of the next thing I want to talk about was that. Let me see if I can find something. I was gonna talk about rentals. Let me see here. Okay. Oops. Bear with me, guys. Okay. So right here is the rental market in Fayetteville. Load up more. Doesn't want to. Okay, you can see it. Okay, so you're looking at average rent $1,400 a month. Year over year, it's gone up $63. Average rentals are $895, and it really doesn't say like if these are apartments or if these are homes or a little bit of both. I'm assuming a little bit of everything, homes or apartments. But that isn't bad. But I've definitely seen this go up too. I think these, I know it's an average, but I mean, Vanessa, you and your family were renting here about 2 years ago, a house. I mean, how big was the house, and how much was your rent?
Oh my goodness. So the house was 1,800 square feet. It was the 4 bedroom, 3 bath, or 2.5 bath. And our rent was 1,750, and it was about to go up to 1,800. And that's when we decided to purchase.
Okay. And that was, you said, yeah, so that was a 4 bedroom house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can only imagine what didn't you say you knew what the rent was now there possibly, or a rough amount?
You know what? I don't know. I know when they first signed the lease, it was 1,800.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, that was 2 years ago almost, or over 2 years ago, and it's probably gone up since then. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's an agent here, Daniel Alvarez. He does a lot of property management. I was talking on Friday. He's got a couple rental properties, and I couldn't believe it, but he said he had a hard time renting them out. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was weird. And I thought maybe they're not in good areas or something like that. And we can't talk about areas due to Fair Housing Act, but just me and him talking, and he said no, they're in pretty good areas. And then he said he had to lower the price on a couple of them. They still are active and been on the market for 30, 40 days as a rental. So it's kind of surprising to me too. I couldn't believe it either. I was like, well, that's strange.
What is the rental? Look at this. Do we know what the rental vacancy rate is right now?
I do not know that. I know I had some stats. Let's see if I can find it, but I do not know the vacancy rental rate. No, I do not.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah.
Because usually our rentals are pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, that's with Port Liberty.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like I've got this stat goes more detail a little bit. Average rent, is just over $1,000, $1,067 for an apartment. And I know these are apartments, but you're looking at studio apartment, 843. How big it is? That ain't, geez, 843 for 335 for a square. That's like a hotel. Jeez. One bedroom, three bedroom is, geez. So you were paying, yeah. So average rent, wow, man. So for $300, $200 more, which you were paying 2 years ago, what's gone up since then? But we'll say it went up maybe 100. I mean, from a 3-bedroom apartment to a house, that's kind of crazy. But did you find a stat? I'm sorry.
I didn't, so it's not letting me pull it up at the moment.
Okay. But it's, let's see. I got another one for houses. Hold on, rent wise. So the other one was apartments, and this is rent for a house. So yeah, you were renting a 4-bedroom. Yeah, it's up to $2,000 now. Wait a minute, for 854 square feet, that can't be right at all. These are I'm sorry, these are apartments again. Yeah, that's crazy too. But it says house. It says house right here. That can't be right.
Average rental.
Yeah, I think these stats are wrong. I apologize, folks. Because it says right there, house. And that's a 4-bedroom house, not 854 square feet, more like 1,800 square feet, maybe.
So according to Zillow, average rental rate is 1,400, 30% lower than national average. And for a 4-bedroom house in Fayetteville, it's approximately 1,990. So 1,990. Yes. So just a 2,000. There's been a 4% increase over the past 30 days and a 9% increase compared to the previous year. So just in the last 30 days, there was a 4% increase.
Gotcha.
And you know what? I think that has a lot to do too, because a lot of property management companies or landlords, they know when military members get that hike in the spike for the basic housing allowance, and so they'll put their rates up higher. And I'm pretty sure that's why, because January we got the new basic housing allowance rates that went up, and so that makes sense that it went up 4% in the past 30 days.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up too. I know I have it here. The BH. Here it is. So the BH. Bear up 1 second. And I know you and Alex just did a video on this. Hold on 1 second. I can make that bigger.
Hey, James, really quick, can you share the YouTube stream link on here?
You talking about the market update?
No, just for the live. I think I can pull it up on this side, actually.
The link?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can put the link. You want to throw it in the chat box or something, or what?
Yes, I know that people that are already in here already don't need it, but no, it's fine. I can pull it up on my end.
Okay. But yeah, here's the VH for 2025, and Vanessa and Alex, one of the lenders we use locally, Vanessa United, did a video on that. We could definitely send it to you guys. But he broke this down basically. E1, E4, you're looking at with dependents is 1701, without dependents, as you can see. And I think he came up with what he was like. If you got 1701 for a whole year, it was like, let me see, let me do the math. 1701 times 12 was $20,412. So that's $20,000 in 1 year. That could be going, if you're renting, it could have went to your mortgage. definitely an investment for yourself. And if you're here for an average of 4 years, so we take 20,000 times four, that's $81,648 in 4 years. So if you PCSed here and you buy your house, and the government's, the BAH is paying for your mortgage, roughly. It
Mhm.
all depends on what kind of house you're going to get and size and all that stuff. You could get money back. You may come out of pocket a little more. I mean, each house is going to be different. I'm not saying that at all, but just think about it. Why, in my opinion, and you let me know what you think, Vanessa. But in my opinion, I say, why spend money, on a rental when you can, buy your house, and in 4 years, if you're here for 4 years or 3 years or longer, you've got equity in your home. I mean, a house, and of course, pre-pandemic, I know prices went crazy during that time, but me and my wife, we bought our house. This house we live in now for 172,000 in 2017. It's now worth about 280 roughly. So we could sell it now that we are, but we could sell it, make $100,000 roughly. So definitely, you could build a lot of equity in your home after 4 or 5 years. It's just something to think about. And then I know if you're a single guy or a girl, and you're probably thinking, I just want to live, in an apartment and by myself and all this stuff. Totally understand. I'm not trying to twist anybody's arm by any means, but to me, I think it makes sense. I mean, you let me know, Vanessa. You're an army spouse, so
Yeah, I think even then, like for young soldiers, it's like the easiest way to get return on investment because they can live in it. They can buy a condo. So if they're already living in an apartment, they can just switch over to buy a condo, live in it while they're here, and then rent it out when they're gone. And that's just being paid off on its own. And it's going to be money that's at the end of the day is going to be back in their pockets. Um, and I think a lot of times they're scared because I mean, purchasing a home, especially when you're young or it's your first home, is a scary thing. Um, but that's why you have people like us so that we can walk you through it. The lenders will walk you through everything that you need to know financially before you take that step. But it's definitely doable. I think I completely agree with you. I think that unfortunately, housing on base is not the best, and it should be for military members. They should be meeting, requirements. It's just as simple as not having mold in the house or little things like that that a lot of families are having issues with. You really shouldn't have to be dealing with that.
Yeah, remember, you think you're your client. I don't know if you remember them. They're your clients, but I remember, I was helping you with them. I think they had like 3 children living on base, and then the wife was pregnant too.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you they turned the living room into the daughter's bedroom.
Yeah. They were living in a 2 bedroom and they had to wait in line to be able to upgrade their home, and they have all these kids and she's pregnant, and it's just chaotic, and it really shouldn't be like that. And not to mention, and I only say this because I've experienced it personally, when you want to complain or you want to ask um housing anything or any repair, you get an attitude. And so it's just too much to deal with. You really shouldn't have to be dealing with any of that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's horrible that something like that happens. I mean, I know they give y'all BAH a little off base, but sometimes it may not be enough either. I mean, I was never in the military, so definitely don't. I'm not trying to act like I understand it, because I definitely don't. And thanks for all the veterans out there, and everybody who do what they do for our country. So, going to throw up an article, and I know not actually we all have seen it, but I think most of us have seen it or felt it. But so Trump signs executive order to reduce housing costs, but will it work? That's the question of the day. I mean, he's been in office for just over a week, and we've seen a lot of things happen. Again, I'm not trying to turn this into a political thing. I'm not. But what can he do? I mean, he is a businessman. He obviously built his business from building big buildings in New York City and all that stuff, and hotels and everything else. Um, but he's talking about. Let me see. Order maintains a regular requirements going 25% of cost of constructing a new home. So we've got definitely a lot of new construction here. Every time I turn around, I don't know about you, Vanessa, but something's being built. Way out there in Rayford or even Hope Mills, or even where you're at. I sold a new construction out there, and I think I lost Vanessa. Oh, yep, lost Vanessa. All right, so running solo, but she can jump back on. But with that, I mean, it's new construction going up everywhere. So, and I have seen a little bit of slowdown with new construction too. Some of these new construction are offering a lot of closing cost. Dreamfinders is offering. I saw it just a few months ago. I don't know about now. Oh, she's back.
Sorry.
Thought I lost her. Man, I was trying to
Sorry.
came back. Oh no, but I was just talking about new construction, and I was asking how you, and I was just talking about Vanessa lives out in the boondocks, and I said I sold new construction out in Autryville. I was talking about new construction, and what their incentives, what they're offering, and they offered my clients I think it's like $10,000-$12,000 in closing costs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which is great. They lowered the price already. They already lowered the price because it wasn't selling very quickly. So, and not to put their business out there by any means, but they bought it for like 280, I think 290, 280, 200, and it appraised in the 300,000s, really high.
Oh.
So yeah, they got a good deal. And again, I'm not going to throw their name out there like that, and I can put their business out there, but they got a great deal. And I see that with new construction. Like I was talking about, Dreamfinders in Hope County was offering up to $20,000 in closing cost, 3% commission to agents, buyer agents, and a bonus if you were able to get under contract a certain amount of time. I don't know if that's still going on. That was right around the holiday season, so it might have changed now. But it's their deals are definitely out there. I wouldn't say they're not by any means. And with that, I mean, new construction is just going up all over the place. Do you have any new construction where you're at? I mean, I know where you're at's tiny, but I mean, like surrounding areas.
Yeah, we definitely do have a lot of new construction. And like you said, I feel like you get, even though new construction, the median price range is a little higher than like a pre-existing one, you get a lot of incentives. Most builders offer a lot of incentives. With a pre-existing home, I think you're more likely to get incentives like that if the house has been sitting on the market longer. I don't know if you would agree with that, but
oh yeah,
definitely new builds, they have the best incentives.
yeah, definitely. And and I have the article about it, but we'll talk about it in a few minutes. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about it now. But of course, new NAR laws changed, or rules changed just last year, August 17th of 2024, where now, now they've, it's always been there, but it's always been a kind of unwritten rule that this person selling their home, the seller, would pay the commission of the buyer agent and the listing agent. And it's always been that way for forever and ever and ever. And recently it just changed. And now the NAR has these new forms out to where a couple of things have changed, to where now the seller doesn't have to offer any commission to the buying side. They still can, but they don't have to. And it's up to, we're both buyer and selling and, listing agents, me and Vanessa. I think most everybody in our area is typically. If you are not, they just do listings. But anyway, so, now it's on the buyer. So, and then these new forms come out to where before we can even show you a home, whether it be if you're PCSing here or moving here and you can't be here to look at the house. If we're going to show you a video of the home, you now have to sign these documents before we can show you a home. So that kind of deters a lot of people, because as soon as you call us, you're going, hey, I want to see a house. You're like, hey, I'm going to send you some forms to sign. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Reluctant. I can't blame them, because if you're not in real estate and you don't understand it, and you typically buy homes every day. I mean, investors do, but it kind of concerns you, like, well, wait a minute, what am I signing? And of course, I don't have Vanessa. I think she would do it the same way, but typically I'll send you the form by email and let you read over it, look at it, and understand it. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. How do you do it, Vanessa, usually?
The same. I mean, I'll review it briefly. And then send it over to them, ask them to review it. And if they have any questions, we can definitely jump on another call and get clarification. But I think for the most part, the ones that we send, and I think you do this too, unless it's like a for sure thing. But when we're just showing homes, it's typically the non-exclusive buyer agency agreement. And then once you move into putting an offer in, then you have to sign the exclusive buyer agency agreement. Now, there's sometimes we send the exclusive from the get-go, and that's just because we already know that we're going to be working, with the future buyers. But yeah, for the most part, it's a non-exclusive one first.
Yeah. I do it the same way. If it's somebody who who found me on Zillow or Google or whatever, and I've never met them, or they don't know who I am, because with the YouTube channel, some people do know who I am, or they already, So I send that, or if they call me, they're, hey, I want to buy a house, and want to use my agent, then I'll send them, like you said, a non-exclusive one to do that. But unfortunately, with this, that's come about. But I guess this all turns back into what we were saying earlier about new construction has more incentives. Is they're going to offer that. There's usually no question they're going to offer buyer commissions. Usually it's either what we standardly get and a bonus. So this is more for listings. If you're thinking about listing your home, whether it be here, somewhere in North Carolina, or another state, it's hard to compete with new construction because something like that, you're saying, I don't want to offer any buyer commission. Well, new construction down the street is offering that. Plus, they're getting them closing costs. Plus, they're giving the agent a bonus possibly. Good chance that you're going to have a hard time trying to sell your home. Nobody means I'm not saying you have to offer it. It's still totally up to you as a seller, but it's just something to think about. You definitely, not saying you want to sell your house quickly, but you want to also get a good deal, and I totally understand that. We both do, but you just got to be realistic and understand that the longer you're on the market, sometimes people wonder what's wrong with your house, and nothing could be wrong with it. It's just it wasn't priced right. A lot of things could be wrong. Can you price right? You're not offering enough commission maybe to where the buyer says, well, I can't pay the difference, because me and Vanessa, we're going to ask for the difference from the buyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we are. Yeah. Also, the commission too is another thing that is a negotiable thing. So, like, let's say if James is selling his house and I'm his listing agent because he only hires the best. And he says, hey, I'm only going to do 2.5% buyer agency commission. But his house has been on the market a little bit longer. And where am I going with this? Oh, sorry. I had someone pull up, so I lost my train of thought. But no, you can negotiate the 3% difference. Just because they said I'm only offering 2.5 doesn't mean you can't ask the seller for the 0.5% difference. If you're working off of 3%, if your agent does a 3% buyer agency commission, you're looking at a house, you love the house, they only offer 2.5% commission, and you don't have the 0.5, you can always ask. Everything is negotiable. Whether you get it accepted or not, we don't know, but at least you can ask, and then that way it doesn't come out of your pocket.
Yeah, definitely. And like Vanessa said, I mean, anything's negotiable, and we can always ask the seller, even though they may be offering 2% or 1% or whatever. We can always ask the selling side for more. And then as a buyer, not necessarily you have to buy that house. It may be the house you want. And you're like, oh, this is the house I want. But if you can't afford the commission, then we definitely have to go look at another house. That could be a deterrent. And I would let the other agent know, not to be mean, but I would say, hey, look, big thing is they can't pay the difference. So we have to look at something where they are offering, that commission. So, but I would say for the most part, I'm not you, but I haven't seen anything where it's been like no buyer commission or nothing like that. I think our broker Neil Fisher. I think he pulled up about a month ago. I think he sent me some data where it showed for the past since August 17th till a month ago, it showed I think 0.5% difference in people offering the commission to buyer agents. which is great because everyone was all worried about it, and I was too. I'm not gonna lie, but we talked about it a couple weeks ago. We actually like it like this. It gives us more negotiating room and things like that too. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
yeah.
and I don't think I've seen anything under 2.5 yet. I don't know about you.
A few, but I think it's from agents that have always put 2%.
That's
So
true
really
too.
not a shocker to me at all. Um, so here's we're going back to what Trump may do. Fact check. Does he have the power to force lower interest rates? And off you guys some pinches of news. I was a couple of days ago where he demanded the Fed to drop the interest rates, and they're like, no, we're not going to do that.
Mm,
He got pretty upset about it. But I know he's the president, but they're saying the president has no direct power to reduce mortgage rates, credit card, APRs, or business loan rates. So, he can get all mad he wants, but unfortunately, he's the most powerful man in the country. But you waving bye to me? Okay.
Sorry, I have my kids at home and have to mute myself so I can scream at them to be quiet.
let, let the family
Sorry, go ahead.
live. Let them scream at him live on TV or YouTube.
No.
No, but so he doesn't have the power to make them lower their mortgage rates by any means.
Right.
But I want them lower too. Trust me. I want I think 6.5-7% is really high. And I want everyone to have a good interest rates and buy homes and all that stuff. But I think if it goes too low, it never get down to 2% anytime soon. Not like it was during the pandemic. That was
Yeah.
reasons. It'd be nice if we get down to 5% though, 6%. At least hover around there and stay there. I think it'll make it a whole lot better. I think that's affecting a lot of the housing market of why, even though we're short inventory, why homes are not selling as quickly, in our area. And of course, the season was just over with, so now we're seeing some different stuff go on. I think we're like, this past weekend I was out showing homes and pulled to a house and there was like 10 people out there and the house went under contract like within a
Oh,
couple of
wow.
hours. Yeah. So that was kind of surprising, but it was a nice looking house.
Yeah.
Not too surprised about that, but so it's with the season changing. I just I got a few listings. I just got a couple showings coming up pretty soon too. So hopefully things change and PCS season's going on too. So with that,
And just to touch on the whole Trump thing too, I think another thing that I read into is with the tariffs on Canadian lumber, um, if the material costs increase up to 20%, then that might increase new builds as well.
oh yeah, I
Um,
forgot about that.
mhm. And then another thing is the policies on immigration. We might have a shortage on labor for new builds if, depending how that goes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think we talked about it. I mean, definitely. You know, we know who's building the homes typically, and that can affect a lot of things too.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, I think I looked at a stat where they said, I definitely want jobs for Americans, but I think they asked like 1,000 people to pull some data. I think like 2 or 3% were wanting to go into construction or to
Mm.
a trade like plumbing, electricity, HVAC, stuff like that. So of course, it's a lot of labor, and I couldn't do it. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't do it. I don't think I'd want to do it if I was younger. um, not my cup of tea by any means, but I mean it is hard. I'm not gonna sit there and act like it's not. And you know, it's out to the ones who build our homes. I mean, thanks for what you do, but man, it's they're gonna ask for obviously what they deserve, and then that means they want I don't know how much construction guys get paid, but let's say they want $30 an hour. Then they had to give it to them because who else is going to build the homes possibly? Then obviously the price of the home is going to go up too. Um,
Mhm.
Things like that can affect a lot of things. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah. Trying to pull something. So I was talking about we're talking about ways of I guess what you could do to help for them to help themselves with if you're looking to buy a house, do we have any like incentives here for first-time buyers or anything like that. We do have a North Carolina down payment assistance program. We got 3 actually, all through the state of North Carolina. This is one of them. Flip on screen. So the North, I won't read this whole thing to you, but basically what it's offering is, whether it says right here, eligible first-time buyers who haven't owned a home at least in principal in the past 3 years. So even if you're if you're not a true first-time buyer, but it's been over 3 years, you could, take advantage of this tax break where military veterans can save $2,000 on their federal taxes with a mortgage credit MCC, towards it. Who's eligible? If you read to the side, it says first-time buyers, military veterans. How you're eligible, you have to meet a certain income. Obviously, purchase a house in North Carolina, that's kind of a gimme there. You don't, has to be approved, of course, by NC Housing, and be a legal resident of the United States. What properties are eligible? Single-family homes, townhomes, condos, or new or used manufactured homes. So that's a good thing. Have you used any down payment assistance programs?
Yes, but I have not had to use one yet. I know the last one we talked about was a $15,000 one, right? It's not just first time homeowners.
Yeah, I got that one too. Let me pull it up real quick.
Okay.
What are you talking about? Yeah. So this is the one Vanessa's talking about. So the NC Home Advantage down payment, yeah. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So what my cursor's acting funny. Okay. So as a first-time buyer or military veteran, you can qualify for, and I think you have to be a true first-time buyer here. I didn't say nothing about 3 years. But you get eligible up to $15,000 with the NC Home Advantage down payment. Similar to other down payment assistance programs with NC Advantage, this down payment is 0 deferred second mortgage, which is forgiven 20% per year at the end of the 11 to 15 years with complete forgiveness at the end of 15 years. So basically what that means is, if I'm correct, we may have to get with Carrie on this one because I know she does down payment assistance. Carrie's one of the lenders we use a lot. And she does down payment assistance. She don't know. We may have to get her on a live stream with us about this.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah. But so what they're trying to avoid is, if you buy a house today using down payment assistance program, you get to $15,000, and depending on the size house you get, typically that's going to be enough to cover your down payment and your closing costs. I would say, and let's say you have money left over. Well, they don't give you the money left over. They do, but not like in a check form at closing. They would put it towards your house. If your house is $200,000, anything left over, it goes towards your house. It may lower to like 195, 196, something like that. And then let's say you're living in a house, and then now you need a bigger house. Family's growing, and you decide, okay, I got to sell this house and buy the next one. Which you need like 20% forgiveness per year is, let's say you own a house for 5 years. Now they've forgiven 20% up to 5 years. You have to pay, they'll prorate it, but you have to pay the remaining amount when you sell the house.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you got to almost own this house for 15 years. So if you're using this program, I'm not saying don't use it. If you had to sell your house, you never know what's going to happen with your life. I mean, you get married, have kids, and family gets bigger and all that good stuff. You need a bigger house. But, what they don't want is people to, buy it and then make a profit out of their house like 2 years later, 3 years later. I mean, things happen, but they're not looking at, hey, I need a bigger house now. What I've seen a lot of people do is they'll rent out their house. So if they have a house for 3 or 4 years, you need a bigger house, they'll rent it out. And then by the next one, you can do that. As far as I know, I believe you still can do that. I could be wrong. I've not used the down payment assistance program in quite a while. And who's eligible? First time buyer. If you own a principal, it does say 3 years. So if you're a true first time buyer, or if you haven't bought a house in 3 years, you can use it. Obviously in North Carolina, your credit score must be 640 or higher. You have to occupy the house within 60 days. What properties are eligible? Single family homes, townhomes, condos, new manufactured homes only, And to get one of those, you have to have a 660 credit score required. So it does not cover pre-sale manufacturing. It has to be a brand new one to use this program. This one, and then they've got one more. Let me pull it up on screen here. And this one is called, let me see, get up first. This one's called NC Home Advantage Mortgage. And again, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it offers up to 3% of the loan amount or $15,000 in down payment assistance also. So almost kind of like the second one I just read off to you. This one, how you're eligible. Your annual income can't exceed 140,000. Credit score must be 640 or higher. You have to apply for FHA, USD, or VA conventional. So all the loans. I don't know why they did just say that. 4 of them. You're either using the 4 loans or you're buying cash. But anyway, that makes no sense at all. And what properties are eligible? All the same properties and also new manufactured homes. 660 credit score again. So, I think most people use the second one I had up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the one.
No.
And but a good program is definitely, it's tough buying a home right now. And if you need help buying a home, definitely, make contact with us. We'll definitely help you. We've got, like I said, we've got a few lenders that we know use the down payment system or specialize in it, not use it.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie being one of them. And then we've got Mitch Guy. We've got tons. We can definitely find you a lender. That wouldn't be a problem. You just reach out to me or Vanessa. We'll definitely help you out there with finding that. And I know some lenders. Another lender named Carrie, Carrie Cook. She uses she works for, I forgot the name of her lender. She'll probably kill me if she sees this video. They have an in-house down payment assistance program. I can't remember how much they offer, but you don't have to pay the money back. But one of the things is the interest rate's a little higher. So if it's, and I don't know how, it really would depend on each person. It's going to be different. But let's say if you're at 6%, they may charge you 6.5 or 7. So really have to, they're it's better than paying it back. It really depends on you, the person, each individual person of how you feel about it. When a higher interest rates and you don't want to pay the money back because life's going to take you, then yeah, definitely something to think about. So we definitely can help you out there. And of course, with all the other loans we have, like we use a lot of VA loans here. But what was it? The VA loans, 0 down payment or not 0 down payment. Yeah, 0 down. Yeah. 0 down. I'm losing it. USDA loan is 0 down also, right?
Right.
Yeah. I not used it. I think I used the USDA loan like one time in 6 years.
I've never used it.
Yeah. Oh, you used it? Yeah. No. It's the USDA loan is typically in rural areas. People think it's for agriculture, but it's not. You can actually buy a house with it. But I've you use in part of Hope County, maybe some parts probably where you're at, Vanessa, out in the boondocks.
Oh my goodness. People are going to think I'm literally out in the middle of nowhere.
And, but I mean, Fayetteville's growing, so it's getting less places to use, but Hope County, Harnett County, like where Vanessa's out it's still Cumberland County, but Eastover, Stedman, Archerville area, you could probably still use it. And then, of course, you got the FHA loan, which is 3.5% down, and then the conventional is typically 3% down. So,
and the FHA loan, I think too, is a lower credit score. No,
is it?
I want to say for FHA, it's. I might be lying. I don't want the lenders to to yell at me on the live, but I think it is. I think you can qualify for it with a lower credit score, but you do have to put the 3 to 5% down. Oh no, I'm sorry, 3.5% down. Conventional is 3 to 5% down.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. And any questions yet or not? I know I see 2 people in here. If you have any questions, please, drop a comment below so we can answer your question. If you're too shy to ask a question here, definitely you can reach out to Vanessa. Her number's on the screen. My number's on the screen. Be happy to answer any questions you have that you want to ask here. We kind of wrap this up. We just hit an hour, but last thing I want to touch on, I guess, is what are your predictions for the future in our market? What do you think is going to happen? I know it's just predictions, so
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this year we started off really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't foresee a market crash. But I think Neil would be like the perfect person to ask because Neil's been doing this for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
And so he's seen a lot of the up and down trends.
Yeah.
I'm like the newest one in the business. You've been in it longer than I have. But just from what I can tell now, I don't foresee any market crashes right now. I think this year is starting off really well for me. I think for you as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I was making faces, but I was just being funny. But yeah, I don't see a market crash in our local area. You have to have we have no inventory. First of all, I mean we got inventory, but nothing to where we should be. It's not. We've got more buyers than we have inventory, so it's kind of economics 101, supply and demand. We've got more buyers and less inventory. It's it's not the other way around. And that's our local area. I can't speak for New York and California, like the stat we threw up, not stat, but data we threw up earlier at the beginning, where it showed like people are like California was the 50th state where people are leaving for 5 consecutive years in a row. And unfortunately, they're battling, or I don't know if they're still battling it, but the remnants of a bad, forest fire in LA. Then, I got friends out there. So definitely, I feel bad for everybody who lost their house.
Mm-hmm.
And, things like that. And it's going to take forever to rebuild. I mean, geez, I can only imagine, what's going to happen out there. But, a lot of people could be, North Carolina's number 3 now. So we got South Carolina, then Texas, then North Carolina.
We're still better.
And then, so, people are going to come here. I think they're going to move here. I think, not necessarily Fayetteville, but just in North Carolina in general.
Mm-hmm.
And, our weather is real good out here. It gets humid here in the state, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, like Vanessa said earlier, we're depending on where you live. You're only a few hours away from the beach. We're only a few hours away from the mountains. Depending on where in North Carolina you're going to live. Our economies here is real good. Our home prices. I mean, I think our median price home was $225. I mean, what can you get for $225 in California? I can't even imagine. Probably like a tiny home. So I definitely don't see a market crash at all. What I do see happening is, I can't predict the future, but I think if Trump wants the interest rates to go lower, they're eventually going to get there. How low? I don't know. I'm hoping 5% at least, 5.5%, at least something like that'd be great. I think it make it more easy for folks to buy homes. I mean, now with closing costs and down payments and possibly paying a buyer commission now and your due diligence money, all the other stuff, it's tough on buyers. I mean, you're in a contract with a couple young buyers, and man, I mean, Vanessa saved the deal here, and I won't go into it because it's still it's pending. But one lender that they were using all of a sudden couldn't finance it anymore, and then Vanessa found another lender who could and saved the deal. So it was tough because at one point they were about to lose all their due diligence money and due diligence. Yeah. I mean, we were talking. I'm not going to give the amount, but we were talking over $1,000. So could you imagine losing $1,000 and you got nothing for it? And so definitely, Vanessa did a great job there in saving that deal. So my hats off to her for that one because I was
Thank you, Louis Sarah Solida, the listing agent. Yeah,
okay.
amazing.
She has a YouTube channel too, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not against
Would
mine. It's out there. I'm just joking, Sarah. I don't know you that well at all. You know?
No, yeah, we worked. She definitely helped me keep the deal together because, it's hard when a deal falls through on, new homeowners or new home buyers and they don't have a lot of money going into it and then they lose out on all their deposits and the inspections and all the things that have to get done. So definitely we will fight for you guys until we will try anything to keep the deal together.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Anything legal. Let me
Yeah,
let me rephrase.
legal stuff. So just Vanessa can't help you. Call me. I'll take care of it. We'll get
Yeah,
it.
no.
I'm joking, everybody. Don't take that seriously. But other than that, yeah, that's our predictions. I would say definitely, if you're looking to buy a home in Fayetteville, or our market is we're looking at 30, 40, 50 days on market. I think you could probably get some closing costs, probably get a reduction price. Of course, before we know it, I know it's only not February, but I see January. Before we know it, it will be springtime, PCS season. So things can change here. We're definitely in even flow. During the summertime, we're definitely busier than we are any other time during PCS season. As Vanessa knows that, her and her family and husband are the PCS here too. So it's definitely can be a change, but I don't see any, unless we get a drastic drop in interest rates, which I don't see happening. I think the market is kind of going to be even. We'll definitely turn into a balanced market, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
What's good for everybody. It's balancing up for everybody, sellers and buyers. So
Right.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm done talking. How about you, Vanessa?
I'm good. No, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can text us, you can call us. James and I work 24 hours basically.
Oh,
No,
hey, James.
James goes to sleep at 7 in the evening and is up by 4 a.m. So you guys can call him. You guys can call him during those times. But no, we're pretty flexible with our schedules and we try to make ourselves as available as possible to you guys. So yeah, just call, text, anything you need.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we call us, email us, and definitely if you're watching us after the live stream, you got a question, you can drop it in the comments there, or you can like Vanessa, you can call us, text us, email us. We're here for you guys to answer any questions. Even if it's not about Fayetteville, maybe think about moving to North Carolina, we can definitely find you a good agent. Not in our area. We know a lot of agents around us here. So, all right. Well, thank you, Vanessa, for joining me
Thanks,
for
James.
this. Yep. Thank you, and see you next time.
Bye, guys.